Texas Prison Story family salute. Y'all, we're back here with another one tonight. This one is some news I think a lot of people will know who we're talking about. There's a man named Clinton Young from Texas that has all types of documentaries about him. It's a very intriguing case. It's actually a very, very different case for sure. And we're going to talk about it a little bit tonight because I don't think it's hit the media that his trial started today. They did jury selection for him yesterday, and the actual opening statements start today. He said himself it might go 5 to 10 days. And this literally is a man who spent 18 years on death row. I believe came within 1 week of actually being executed. Been through the ups and downs and been through the ringers. Forceful cell extractions, literally solitary confinement this entire time, contemplating his own death coming at the hands of the state. And with full disclosure, I am pro-death penalty, right? If you kill my kid and I can't get you, then I want somebody else to do it. So I'm not anti-death penalty, but this case stands out a little bit different, actually a lot different, right? And shout out to the Clinton Young Foundation. If you watch this, you can type that in Google, and that's where I got this little video from. I hope they don't mind me showing it, because I want you to see Clinton Young himself. His case had so much corruption involved that it was almost amazing, right? So we're going to check it out.
I mean, I sat in the cell all day. You see what I'm saying? And so, there's a frustration for them cheating. Okay, they broke the laws that they're supposed to uphold. You know, I can prove now that 2 DA investigators committed first-degree felonies, tampering witnesses in a capital murder case. The East Texas DA, as they found, committed perjury twice. And so, at first, there was the frustration about like, man, these people were basically trying to kill me. And they were doing everything they could to make sure that happened. Not because there's overwhelming evidence or anything like this, but just to cover up for Al Shorey. And so, but when I look at it from another angle, no, I'm not angry, because their obsession is going to be what destroys them. You know, it's like, you ever read that book, Moby Dick? The guy's so obsessed with the white whale, what ends up bringing his demise. You know, they were so obsessed with trying to kill me and do all this other stuff. They were falsifying statements and having people lie and hiding evidence and then getting paid by the judge. That's all the stuff that's keeping me alive. You know, Al Shorey could have took this case, did some fancy indictment, and then threw me in the penitentiary for 99 years, one way or another. And then I've been stuck. And I maybe got some appeals, or maybe could have found something out, or maybe got some time cuts or something like that. But it'd been harder for me. But instead, they were so obsessed with killing me that it automatically gave me attorneys. I didn't have to go pay for no attorneys. And thankfully, I ended up getting better ones on my case than the ones I had when I first got down here. And so now they've done all this stuff, and it's the very thing that's going to help me win.
So listen, as you see, he's saying right there about all the corruption and everything that happened, right? And we'll talk about that in 1 second. Let me show you something. So that's Clinton Young on the inside, right? And I want y'all to pay attention to this. It's going to show him when he got released 2 years ago. There was so much corruption and misdeeds in his trial that his guilty verdict was thrown out. He filed a federal lawsuit against these people, I believe, and I think it's still pending. I know it's still pending, right? But murder is serious, especially capital murder. It's something that they'll never forget. If you kill somebody 50 years ago, they'll still arrest you and try you for it and give you the death penalty in Texas, okay? I want y'all to pay attention, because we talk about this is not the life you want. How he looks when he comes home. right? We talk about Texas prisons, malnutrition, no sunlight, nothing. Like, with combined with that, with the stress of this man, it's terrible. It's sad the way that he was looking right now.
On death row just a few months ago. Tonight, we can confirm that Clinton Young is out on bail. The first time out of jail in more than 20 years. This video of Young was posted to a Facebook group dedicated to his release. He just got out of the Midland County Jail and wanted to touch the grass. You'll remember Young was convicted of murdering 2 Midlanders back in 2001 and was sentenced to death in 2003. He has
Look how he looked when he was young right there, when he first caught his charge. And then look how he looked coming out. And I'm going to show you how he looks now. Totally different human beings.
insisted that he was framed. However, that decision was overturned last September after the Texas Court of Criminal Appeals discovered the prosecutor in the case also worked for the judge. The Clinton Young Foundation Facebook page wrote that his bond was set at $150,000 yesterday and then released earlier today. He had been in the Midland County Jail since October. Prosecutors are now in the process of deciding if they want to try him again or dismiss the charge altogether.
So obviously, as we sit here and talk about this tonight, they decide to retry him. And the thing about his case is, if you're from Texas, you have to understand the law of parties. The law of parties means if you're with a group of people and one person commits a felony, everybody's guilty. I believe the only way to get around that is call 911 right then and tell them what just happened or you're guilty, right? So Clinton Young and 3 of his homies, were riding in a car to go buy some marijuana from somebody. And during that transaction, that man is killed, okay? They dump his body off. They go their separate ways. Clinton Young leaves with another guy. He said on the way to go do whatever they was doing, they killed another guy and stole his car. And he says that he was asleep during that time. Okay? Whether he did it or not, in the eyes of the law, he's guilty. Just by association. That's literally what the law of parties is. Guilty by association. But the crazy part here is that the 3 people literally immediately rolled on Clinton Young. I mean, immediately blamed everything on him. You can see interrogation videos of him. You can see one guy leading them to where the body was, and he's crying like a little girl. I mean, like sissy style, and saying, Clint said if we tell, he'll kill our families, right? There's this other white guy. They interview him in prison. He's total rat, all right? At best, he's a rat, unbelievably. And he's saying that he was scared of the man. Now, these guys were armed, and they're claiming they were scared of this dude, right? All of them had guns. You can't force me to do anything if I got a gun, too. At the very least, we're going to take 10 paces and duel, you know what I mean? So a lot of that never made any sense. But when you couple in the corruption of the case, the prosecutor's misconduct, and the want and desire and need to clear capital murder cases in small towns. It's basically, in Texas, they're so pro-death penalty that they felt like somebody had to die, right? So instead of looking for the truth and really who was the shooter, and there's all types of evidence to show where he was sitting, he couldn't have been the shooter, they run with these crazy statements, give these 3 guys light sentences, and give Clinton Young the death penalty. And that's about how it went. So with this retrial right now, I'm gonna tell you something, y'all. I've been following this case for a minute. I don't know if he's guilty or innocent. I'm not here to like argue that, but it's the humanity part, y'all. Like watching Clinton Young, let me show you something. This is what he looks like today. You seen him coming out emaciated, pale, everything. That's him today, right now, on the way to trial. I watched a live video of him where he was talking about getting ready to pick the jury. He was talking about buying 2 suits and all the accessories cost $1,000 for both of them. And he was upbeat. He was not defeated. And I'm not saying he is now, but I seen him today looking down like reality is setting in that courthouse. He knows his life is on the line now. He already served 18 years in prison, and I don't know how much in the county. And it's possible right now they can re-sentence him back to life without parole, I believe, or the death penalty again. And if you've seen any of the documentaries about Clinton Young, you'll see how much his mother loves him, his family loves him, his house is decorated full of childhood photos of him and everything. And as I go on this YouTube journey, exploring more through the prison and paying attention, I start realizing how bad we hurt our families when we do crazy things. And there's a lot of lessons to be learned here for everybody. The main lesson is watch the company you keep. All right, I say it all the time. Snow nowadays is a straight loner, and the reason I'm a loner, that's self-perseverance, right? I want to succeed out here. I know about the law parties. I don't want to be at nobody's house when it gets raided because they sell dope. I don't want nobody trying to hit licks at my house while I got a kid here. You know what I mean? Like, all of this started from them guys partying. They were high. They were having a good old time, right? And one thing leads to another. And they were all hardcore criminals at that time. Clinton Young had went to TYC, which no matter how innocent you enter in that system, you're coming out with PTSD and a hardened criminal. But the humanity of this, watching this man go through these roller coasters, like I told you, there's a video online. You can type in the Clinton Young Foundation and see him doing the cell extraction. They're taking him out on the gurney with the bloody face, beat, you know, all the stuff that he's went through that I don't think his co-defendants have. He's literally gotten tortured here. And my thing is this: either they all get the death penalty or they don't, right? There's too much he say, she say stuff in this. I don't think there was no physical evidence, no DNA, nothing, and those witnesses weren't very credible. When people talk about our broken system and shit like that, it comes down to a lot of stuff. From you get railroaded because you can't afford a real attorney, you get a bad one represented you, and I think he said he had a good one appointed to him, but you can get railroaded like that. Hey, your friends really can just turn and pin something on you. You know, look at the Badger situation. Couple phone calls got him wrapped up in a big federal indictment. Like, we really, really have to be careful who we're with. You know, you are the company you keep in the eyes of others. And then the attitude and behaviors of other people start rubbing off on us. You know, that's why everybody in the hood is all the same. Everybody hanging out and shit. The guys that stay inside are probably not like that. And yes, the death penalty is definitely arbitrarily enforced. When you look in Texas, you'll see that most death penalty cases are coming out the same place. Harris County has the absolute most people on death row. But there's certain just conservative areas, like I say, where it's so important for the mindset and mind state of the community when these little places that somebody be held accountable. And we've seen time and time and time again through history, and people freed off death row, that it's so important that somebody is held accountable that they'll pin it on anybody. You know what I mean? The case, man, I can't remember my man's name, in Louisiana, where the two sisters said he raped them, but one of them was a virgin when they, I'm laughing, I'm sorry. Vincent Simmons, okay, he's a good example of something like this. Vincent Simmons had these people pin this brutal rape on him that doctors concluded couldn't happen. But they were so eager to solve this rape and ease this community that they literally convicted a guy that they knew didn't do it because he had a record and he had warrants. You know, that is the problem with the system. So with a death penalty case, any type of corruption involved, that's a major offense. That's a real major offense. And it just shouldn't be like that, right? So I want to know, when you watch this, drop in the comments, first of all, what do you think he deserved? Do you think all of them deserve the death penalty? I know the slimiest looking white guy, I believe he had 30 years. Do you believe they deserve 30 years? Did they all deserve the death penalty? Was Clinton a victim? If you've seen this, like, let me know in the comments, like, really how you're interpreting this case, because I can't figure it out. From a legal standpoint, they were all just complacent and just as guilty in the first murder, regardless of who the shooter was. In the second murder, there was only 2 of them there. So why he is the only one with the death penalty, I'm not real sure. All right, it's strange, but I also want to know what you think is going to be the result in this second trial. Like, do you think that Clinton Young is going to get time served, 18 years in solitary confinement, being tortured? Do you think he's going to get 30 years like his co-defendants? Or do you think they're going to clear him and just make up for the corruptness that they showed him? I really, truly don't know. I really don't. But I tell you what, I'm praying. I told him I'm praying for him. And I'm praying that the right decision is made. I really don't know what the right decision is. He definitely deserves about $100 million for that first corrupt trial, though. That is no joke. They did him dirty on that one. Now, the punishment that he deserves for these 2 lives lost with the law parties, that's up to them, I guess, and up to what they can do. But obviously they weren't offering a plea deal that he would agree to, because he's here back at trial again. The best I can do is keep y'all updated. And so if you haven't seen it, go watch one of them Clinton Young documentaries. Go watch one of them documentaries and see what's going on, y'all. And double tap the screen for me if you don't mind. We got 104 people in here. Double tap that screen. And I appreciate everybody for tapping in, y'all. We're going to get up out of here.